Welcome to part four of the Severe Weather Awareness Week here in the state of Michigan. The upcoming week is going to be filled with posts on our Facebook page, also videos here on YouTube, and just pushing content information out for those of you who do not have the best of knowledge on severe weather safety and also your ways to receive warnings and stuff like that. So, part one was about reading your SPC outlook, finding it, understanding it, where to find it at. Part two was your storm timeline, what you guys need to be doing day three time frame, day two time frame, the day of. Then part three was about getting warnings and ways to receive those warnings, how to sign up for those, et cetera, et cetera. This is part four, and we're going to be focusing on specific warnings and what you should be doing in the event of each particular warning. So let's go ahead and go back to the beginning. What causes a warning to be issued? So we're going to focus on two warnings here. Now there are flood warnings and there are flood watches, but we're not going to cover that in this video. We're going to focus primarily on three hazards here. And again, I want to highlight that lightning does not have a severe warning criteria. Just because a storm has a lot of lightning does not mean it's severe. Warnings are issued for wind, hail, and tornadoes. They're not issued for lightning at all. Okay, so the three primary things a severe thunderstorm will have is wind, hail, and tornadic activity. Severe thunderstorm warnings are typically issued for a storm that is windy and contains hail. Criteria for a severe warning is hail that is above 1 inch in diameter, equivalent to a quarter size. And then for wind, it has to be above 58 miles per hour to be considered severe. So anything above a quarter inch, 1 inch diameter hail, or anything above 58 miles per hour is a severe thunderstorm. Now, those are going to be the main prompting of severe warnings, but sometimes that warning that is only a severe warning, not a tornado warning, is only a severe warning, the yellow boxes. Those severe warnings will sometimes contain a tornado possible tag. So how you're going to find that is if you get the alert through your phone, if you were to scroll all the way down to the bottom of that text, it'll tell you what the hazard is associated with that storm. So, for example, it'll say probably 60-mile-per-hour winds and 1 inch hail, radar indicated. So it's not confirmed, it's just being indicated by radar that it could be happening. Now, in that little box at the very end of that text, you're going to find if there is a tornado possible tag. A lot of times in Michigan, we will get those tags, especially on West Michigan, where a lot of our line segments of thunderstorms happen, where we could have a lot of wind and a lot of spin up tornadoes. A lot of times we'll get issued those severe warnings for wind and hail with that tag for a tornado possible. So it doesn't always have to be a tornado warning to be a tornado possible with that storm. So that's why we always say severe thunderstorms can also produce tornadoes because it doesn't always take a tornado warning to get a tornado to happen. Okay. So, with that being said, identify what risks are with that storm. So, if you identify that it's only a wind and hail risk, you can probably stay above ground. I would suggest you guys get inside for sure. That's number one. Get away from windows because hail and wind can both blow out your windows. And also, just overall, if you're going to stay above ground, make sure you're monitoring that warning for a potential upgrade to a tornado warning. Okay. If you do happen to read this text and you see a tornado is possible, at that point, I would suggest getting down into your basement or into your safe place. It could be a closet, interior room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Okay. That could be a closet, it could be a bathtub. And when you get in those places, make sure you have blankets and stuff you can cover yourself with, mattresses put over you. Still good ideas. But overall, for a severe warning that's just for wind and hail, you likely just need to be indoors away from windows and then just monitor for any upgrades. Okay. Number two, and the most dangerous, is a tornado warning. So a tornado warning is issued when either radar indicated rotation is being detected, which is the majority of the time here in Michigan. We'll see the radar start indicating that we could have some rotation picking up. And then a little bit later on, about a couple minutes later, you may see a warning pop up. So in the event of a tornado warning, you guys need to be moving to your safe place immediately. Do not waste time. Get to your safe place and then try to find additional information. Sometimes here in Michigan, these spin up very fast. Every second counts. So the minute the warning is issued, I've seen it so many times. Last February 27th was a really good example. We saw the rotation on radar up in Grand Blanc about 15 minutes prior to it actually tightening up. So when it actually tightened up, Grand Blanc only had about 2 to 3 minutes of warning from the NWS with that tornado warning that got issued. So they didn't have very much time. So it's very, very um, vital to get to your safe place immediately in the event of a tornado warning. At that point, once you go to your safe place, you need to pull out your phone, or if you have a TV down there, turn the TV on, weather radio, and have that on and have that going. I would highly suggest looking at the text of the warning you get in your phone. If it's on your phone, it'll usually have where that storm is located and where that storm is moving to. If you have weather radar, if you guys know where to find yourself on a map and how to read radar, pull that out and see where you're at in correlation to the velocity, the rotation on radar, and see if you're safe. Either way, stay in your safe place until that warning is expired or you get the all clear from NWS or from your local broadcasters, whether it's us here at MSC or we'll say local news stations can do that as well. But they'll tell you when you're safe. Okay. Overall, tornado warnings, you need to act immediately, whereas severe warnings, just get indoors immediately. Okay. Hope that makes sense. And again, it wouldn't hurt to get in your safe place for severe warnings. It's just that severe warnings with wind and hail are a little bit less more of a concern. Just stay away from windows. Don't want windows or glass getting blown out in your face, stuff like that. But the overall concern here is just for tornado safety. Now, in the event of a tornado safety, what are some good areas to shelter in? All right. So, a lot of the questions on our page here about mobile homes, about apartment buildings, businesses, offices, your house. So, starting with your house, obviously, you guys probably know this, but the best place to be during a tornado is underground. There is nothing that beats underground, a basement, a crawl space, if it's accessible. Just below ground is your best bet in terms of safety. Your next best bet, if you do not have that, is an interior room of your house. It could be a closet, it could be a bathtub. Put as many walls as you can between you and the outside. If you don't have any interior closet or bathtub or a room without windows, just go to the centermost part of your house. And then if there are windows that are going to blow out, you think, just cover yourself with a blanket. That should protect you from flying glass. Overall, center part of your house is best. Do not be upstairs. Do not be outside on your deck watching for it. Okay. A lot of these move pretty fast here in Michigan. They're going to come up on you very quickly. And some of them you can't even see because they're wrapped in rain. So don't go outside trying to look for it. Just get inside, get in the basement, get in your center part of your house, closet, bathtub. That's the best bet. Now, in terms of work, usually in your office buildings or your businesses, they're going to have to legally have designated tornado shelters. It's usually a bathroom. It could be a interior cemented room in like a warehouse. You're going to have to this is why it's important to identify this ahead of time, because knowing this ahead of time is going to save you a lot of grief when the time comes for you to take shelter. So identify those immediately, like identify those now. Even though there's no severe weather, just make sure you know where you're going to go. Usually it's going to be a bathroom. Schools, pretty much a bathroom. Businesses usually have bathrooms available with designated tornado shelters, et cetera, et cetera. So, with that being said, the last one we're going to talk about here is mobile homes. So, if you're in a mobile home, there's a lot of debate about this, but if you have a car, leave your mobile home. Okay. I would rather you be in your car driving away, usually to the east or to the south of a storm, than you being in a mobile home during a tornado. They're not meant to withstand winds of a weak tornado. They're going to flip over. It's just not a good place to be, period. Okay. So when you do see a warning for a tornado on your mobile home, if you're in a mobile home, the best thing to do is to identify where that storm is in correlation to you and then move in your car to a safe location like a Starbucks, a strip mall. Even a Walmart is better than a mobile home. Okay. Get to a substantial structure. If that is not available, again, I would ask your community shelters. I know a lot of people are saying that the communities that own these mobile home parks don't have shelters. Okay. That's not an option and you don't have a car. At that point, you only have really two options. Number one, you ride it out in your mobile home. Again, I'd say get in the centermost part of your house. Um, but again, if you have a low-lying ditch, that's also not a bad idea. Although I'd preferably, for me personally, be indoors. But sometimes you'll see guidance suggesting go outside, lay down flat in the ditch or a low-lying area, and that could definitely help. But again, it's just going to be a matter of if you want to be out in the elements or not. But still, just know that if you're in a mobile home, it's not safe to be in during a tornado. And unfortunately, a lot of people um, don't have that shelter, and it should be different, but it's not. So, Unfortunate reality here with people with manufactured homes and mobile homes, but um, just unfortunate. But with that being said, those are your three main ways you can take shelter there from your house, your business, your office, your work, your schools. And then also, if you're in a mobile home, definitely suggest getting out into your car and driving away to a substantial structure. With that being said, though, that is going to wrap up this video. I hope you guys did enjoy this. We'll be covering more watch versus warning in the next video, and also covering a little bit more so an in-depth of maybe some radar stuff you can get into to have some knowledge on how to look in and get an idea of where the storm is and what the storm is doing. So, and then finally, we're going to cover emergency kits where you guys can put together for in the event of a tornado or a severe thunderstorm that ruins or that destroys your house. We're going to have a kit you can keep on hand just in case the worst happens. So with that being said, like I said, my name is Ryan, Michigan Storm Chasers. If you guys have questions, feel free to ask in the comments. But at this point in time, this is going to do it for part 4. Thank you guys for watching and stay safe.